Chris Conroy's Leisureworld brought to you by TJM Products, four-wheel drive and commercial vehicle equipment.
Hi, welcome aboard. Well, Christmas 1997 is upon us, and we're about to enter the 20th year of consecutive weekly production of Chris Conroy's Leisureworld. And looking back over 1997, it hasn't necessarily been the easiest of years, but once again the show has grown, our format coverage has expanded, and the acceptance on the part of you, the viewers, has been absolutely wonderful. In fact, it's sustained us through some quite difficult times. I'm going to spend a few minutes just reminding you of some of the highlights of 1997 on Chris Conroy's Leisureworld. As with the previous 19 years, boating has always formed the nucleus of Chris Conroy's Leisureworld. This year we looked at, in some detail, at the new release Honda 4-stroke outboards, and we did a fuel comparison test between a 90 horsepower Honda and a 90 horsepower two-stroke, and found that the Honda used about 1/3 as much fuel as the two-stroke over a typical 1 hour run. Really quite remarkable. We also looked at one of our rare sailing boats in the form of the Hunter Trailer Sailor, which is marketed by Hunter Yachts based in Airlie Beach. This boat comes from America and has all of the features of a truly superb high-performance trailer sailor. We looked at the Norcat range of large power catamaran tunnel hulls, which are exported all over the world and which do a superb job in both private and commercial use. And we looked at the Seafarer range of fishing boats and runabouts made on the Gold Coast by Lindsay Fry's organisation. Haynes' signature was again prominent on the show, as it has been as far as John Haynes' designs and products are concerned for the 19 years. John does a superb job of these quite beautiful boats, and we've put our new signature 540 on the water with a 90 horsepower Honda on the back. And we also looked at the brand new release Steba 1050, Steba's 34-foot boat, which was designed and released to celebrate Steba's 50th anniversary in fiberglass boat manufacture. And getting away from fiberglass boats, we looked at the Scruffy range of kit boats, and where in fact over Christmas we'll be making a lot of progress on our 24-foot Scruffy kit hull, which we'll be showing you on the show in 1998. Now, the other activity that we cover in detail is aviation. We looked at Nestor Slepchev's quite remarkable Storch short takeoff and landing ultralight and general aviation aircraft. Again, an Australian product, totally designed in Australia and built here, which is exported around the world. My Sparrow has settled into some quite enjoyable cross-country flying. The little aeroplane has been finally worked up after 10 years of design and construction in my workshop, and she's flying absolutely beautifully. And of course we covered the warbird scene in Australia in our Air Australia series of videos, which covers restored warbirds, vintage aeroplanes, ultralights, all kinds of flying machines, and I'm happy to say is one of the most successful aviation video series ever to be marketed in Australia. Now, we also did a lot of travelling during 1997. We ranged far and wide up and down the coast. The Sea Venture houseboats, which you saw a moment ago, was shot on Lake Macquarie, and we went to magnificent Rockhampton for Beef 97, the celebration of the Australian beef industry, which has visitors from all over the world, and also politicians and other luminaries from around Australia looking at the Australian beef industry, still hugely successful in spite of a number of impositions that have been put on it in recent years. We looked at the Whitsundays. We went sailing with Whitsunday Escape and went aboard a huge houseboat on the Whitsundays and talked to the people, the families who were enjoying that boat. We also did a fair bit of yachting and sailing in the Whitsundays, which was truly magnificent. And as far as ground-bound destinations are concerned, we covered Orlando Resort, which is on the mainland just north of Airlie Beach. Watch out early in 1998 for an update on Orlando. Ron Earl, who owns the property, has just opened his new units and his new swimming pool. We'll be covering that very, very shortly. And all in all, the Rockhampton experience, along with the Whitsundays one and the Southern one, was absolutely superb. For the first time in our 19-year history, we brought a naming rights sponsor aboard Chris Conroy's Leisureworld in the form of TJM four-wheel drive accessories. TJM are again an Australian company which exports all over the world, a magnificent range of four-wheel drive accessories, and also designs and manufactures things such as airbag compatible bull bars, which are used by original equipment manufacturers, in other words motor manufacturers, both here and in America. And we looked at their brand spanking new AirTech snorkels, by driving a range of vehicles through some quite deep water, which was great fun, I might tell you, and none of the vehicles suffered from drowning. They all did extremely well thanks to the assistance of the AirTech snorkels. And in our rural segments, which we introduced pretty well seriously for the first time during 1997, we looked at ostrich farming in the Pilliga, and of course in recent weeks we've seen the Pilliga in that area ravaged by bushfires, but I'm happy to say that the Emu and Ostrich Breeding Farms of Australia organisation in the Pilliga there, just north of Barradine, was unscathed by the bushfires. The breeding season is going extremely well and there are plenty of ostriches being hatched. We looked at the magnificent South African boar goat for more meat boars. Again, watch the show in a week or so's time for a rerun of that segment, which is truly fascinating. Peter Firth's initiatives in bringing boar goats into Australia and crossing them with our ferals looks set to be one of our major food production industries, particularly again in export. We looked at llamas, and you saw Sonny and Dougie at the beginning of this segment giving me my morning cuddle. We have a cuddle in the morning and the afternoon. We also looked at worm breeding, vermiculture, which is a fascinating subject and which created a huge amount of interest among people all over Australia with our worm farm starter kits in our video, running an hour and a half and showing people all the aspects of vermiculture. And we looked, as far as machinery is concerned, at Donnelly Agricultural Equipment's machinery, designed and made near Brunswick Heads in northern New South Wales. Again, moved all over Australia, specialised wood chippers, slashers, finishing mowers and that sort of thing that do a truly superb job. And as far as high-tech is concerned in farming, we also looked at the Honda brush cutters, the new 4-stroke Honda brush cutter, which uses brand new technology to enable a 4-stroke engine to maintain its lubrication regardless of what angle the brush cutter may be held on. And just getting back to the llamas, Sonny here likes his cuddle. We have a cuddle in the morning and in the afternoon, as we do with his cousin there, Dougie. They're magnificent animals. They're only about 500 in Australia. The breeding initiatives by Australian breeders have been so successful that Australian llamas are bringing top prices at auctions around the world. But apart from all of that, the commercial aspects of it, they truly are magnificent animals to live with and to have as companion animals. We'll be back with more right after this break.